All right, welcome back. It's early February 1862, and we'll start off in Virginia. Jackson is basically holding here with a division in good shape. Supply wagon will arrive in 2 days, so if McClellan does decide to attack with his three divisions, there will be supply there. Johnston, newly promoted to a two-star general, holds the depot with three regiments. I'm actually hoping that's enough to prevent this partisan from burning the depot. We shall see. So I'm sending one Shropshire unit to Johnston, and the partisan that's also in the same region are both on attack. There were actually no battles last week. Here I'm going to basically combine the forces and have them rebuild the railroad. And you can see here there's actually a Union partisan unit as well. So going to put that on attack. The cavalry regiment will go back as well as this supply wagon and join Johnston's army. Some kind of other movement. Smith will take over in Winchester, and Bunham's going to Norfolk. Meanwhile, from Winchester, the hospital will arrive in 1 day, and you can see Evans is barely alive, but at least now they'll have supply where they can eat food. I am sending a division to Winchester just in case they basically try to bypass Harper's Ferry and attack the weak division there. So for the time being, Manassas will be held with a small division and a half, but we do have more forces on the way, including a large brigade from North Carolina. Longstreet continues to hold Fredericksburg, Lee, and Richmond. As you can see, we're getting the forces are back in Suffolk, and seeing another small regiment on the way, and Huger is in Norfolk. In Kentucky, basically, I'm trying to what do they call this? Partisan's ambush on this force here, since we're next to it, and more or less we're kind of still just getting organized in the area. Actually, here we can go ahead and make a division. Johnston's continuing to hold with two divisions here. I'm trying to attack all of the Union partisan units, so I'm sort of sending some cavalry regiments, including Forrest. Forrest is coming after him, so hoping to kind of clear them out. I think pretty much it's all quiet over here. Out in Kansas, I'm going to send Evans one region over, and then hopefully either in turn we'll be able to get some supply here, and then they'll be able to move on the fort. It's just really difficult to be able to supply these units, kind of keep them moving around and around. Meanwhile, McCulloch is here, but actually doesn't have enough supply, so we're going to take some hits. The wagon is on the way, though, so I'm hoping that hopefully the weather will get better and we'll be able to move some more supply up there. We have one regiment moving on Fort Riley here, just an offensive, so they won't assault. Out west, I'm going to attempt to take this fort and move the forces, basically targeting the larger force here. There is, as you can see, one unit here, and then there's a few units up here, so I'm kind of surprised they haven't moved yet. But we do have other forces on the way, and we're also building a couple other militia units. Meanwhile, the Union force is basically ready to go in western Arizona, but we have our force sitting fully entrenched with an artillery battery ready to meet them. As far as decisions go, I've actually done a lot. One is I'm increasing the rail pool and the river pool. Again, I'm requesting another light artillery. We already have 2 field artilleries ready, 10 cavalry and 10 line infantry to basically replace what's been missing. You can see what's being built. The only new one here is actually a very, very large brigade in Richmond. I am doing several specific drafts and requisitions throughout the South, I think about 4 of each. Just try to be able to basically up the manpower and be able to compete with the Union. So, and that will cost victory points, but right now we have a pretty large lead in victory points, and we're getting more every single month. Okay, so let's run the turn and see what happens. Okay, we're back. Kind of a crazy turn. The bad news is that we've lost control of Harper's Ferry, which is very, very bad. So that is going to be difficult to. That's definitely going to be difficult to deal with. So let's kind of see what happened. Basically, I'm going to kind of focus in on the battles. There were 3 battles in Harper's Ferry. The first one was a cavalry regiment was destroyed. I think that must have been an error, and they accidentally entered. They accidentally entered the region. The second one is we won a massive battle where really Dick's division was almost completely wiped out. Really, as you can see, it's a 6 national morale gain there. But this is a big, big loss, mainly because it's going to be really, really difficult to get it back. On day 9, we were defeated. So yeah, that's a big loss. I'll have to decide if we want to go ahead and attack or not. And also, what's happened is the Union did destroy our depot, so that sort of puts us in an untenable position here. It may actually mean that we're going to have to evacuate the entire area and fall back on Winchester. We did win a battle out in where is this? Gallatin. Oh, Tennessee. Yeah, so we did win a battle in Tennessee. So Union's kind of made a few more moves here. Is that in our force for Kentucky? Yeah. And we have not been able to attack these unit sets, but now both Forrest and this other cavalry have arrived. Out west, I kind of want to see what happened because the Union moved. Actually, this is really interesting. So you can see that they moved, and they arrived, but there was no battle. Yeah, so there was actually no battle there. Did we take Fort Riley? We did. Okay, so that's good. Here's Evans, Forrest, severely worn out, so it's actually just going to have to sit there and rest for the time being. Didn't really see any other movement. Oh, we may have lucked out, and they did get enough supply because there aren't any losses here. Out west, I want to see what happened because I had made a lot of those movements. Oh, well, it looks like there was no battle. They probably just surrendered. And still no movement by the Union yet. So You see, we just have a couple more artillery batteries in the area, um, and Arizona militia has appeared. Um, so the Union force is getting stronger, which means they're probably going to attempt to attack this pretty soon. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to Virginia, and then let's take a look at the messages. So here's where the Union surrendered. It said we succeeded positioning ourselves for an ambush, but it didn't look like that actually happened. We did bombard the 31st Division with our artillery. Here was the first battle of Harper's Ferry, where the cavalry regiment went in and surrendered. Here was the massive victory where Dix's division was pretty much wiped out. Unfortunately, what that did do is, by the time Dix arrived with the larger force, Johnston was too worn down to be able to defend it. So the Union took more casualties, but we did retreat. Actually, sorry, these are not all the events. So here's where we're getting food, horses, and tools to up our income. Okay, so we have several forces that are finished. A whole bunch are finished, actually. Wow. So they're going to be doing a lot of movement next time. Johnston is congratulated. B is congratulated. Walker is also congratulated. Several important events. One is the Confederate Territory of Arizona is formed. And that's how we saw that our militia has arrived. Now, you can tell, actually, we're doing much better here in this game than the Confederacy did historically. We are in pretty good control of Tuscan. I need to probably send another battery its way. I think having a second artillery battery there will cause it to be in a much better position. The first Confederate Congress is now meeting. That's +1. And then Davis is inaugurated, so that is also another +1. We, of course, asked for more railroads and river transports. Loring is now waiting command, and the Texas Brigade has been formed. So we have another elite brigade that is ready. Basically, I'm gonna have to decide what to do. Let's see, the weather doesn't look like any of it's very harsh, so this railroad here is destroyed, but we'll be able to hopefully use the railroad the rest of the way to get back, and then of course deciding what to do, if we want to attack or basically just give up on Harper's Ferry. We do have one division that's in full strength, so one option would be to attack use Johnston to attack with Smith, and then have Jackson rail back and attack from this way. It's hard to say. I mean, the Union has such a large force here. If I were them, what I would do is I would immediately send another division over there, and if we do that, it pretty much means that it's pretty much means we won't be able to. There's not much chance for success. They've already started to entrench, so it's a big loss. I mean, you might think, okay, winning the 6th National Morale is great. I don't even see that. I don't even see that the division that we destroyed. Who was it? Dix. General Dix. Is he here? Oh, he is there. Okay, you can see his 74 power. So there are actually 3 divisions there. Of course, one of them is pretty much wiped out. We are under siege, so and we still do control the region. So hard to say. The military control is 95%. So I think if we went in, we would not have to attack if we don't want to. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it works. But it might be time just to pull back and set up a position from Manassas to set up a line basically from Manassas to Winchester. So it might be my dreams of holding Harper's Ferry and much of Western Virginia on a permanent basis have quickly come to an end. The combination of just getting slammed by supply issues and yeah, not great. So pretty interesting turn. A lot to think about next time. A lot to consider. It's late February, so probably a couple more months before the weather clears up. But definitely need to be in a position to defend coming the spring campaign. Let's just quickly take a look at the Union morale. It is now 78. So they took a big hit with that using the 6. Ours has gone way up to 121 because of the battle and the other events. All right, see you next time.